Do you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Brightree, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. Hopefully, you are having a fantastic day today. I'm doing pretty good. As usual, waking up early. I don't know. I hardly ever sleep past like 6 or 7 o'clock. Hardly ever. I'm normally up at like 4:35, sometimes 3. And I don't know. I just have an excitement right now that I've had for a while about things, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Just like, just kind of wanting to see like what else is out there. And one of the things I write down on my notepad every day when I start doing my journaling is my write down dream, plan, accomplish at the top, and then right under that I write down like God's best, right? I was thinking about that as I got coffee this morning, because like I want the best that's out there that God has created, the best of everything that God has created. Like He's given people wise ideas to create all kinds of great things. And like, I just want to experience that stuff. And I'm excited about, just working hard, taking care of folks, and just kind of like getting it done, making a difference in people's lives. And I want to tell you a quick story about my week. I just had a great conversation with a client yesterday. I may have them on my show at some point. We talked about it, and they were like, "Oh my God, Harold, I don't think I can talk to people." I said, "Well, you're talking to a person right now. It's no different. You'll be on the phone, and we'll just be doing our Zoom meeting on the phone, and then you'll be talking to people. We'll be doing a Q&A and things like that." But interesting story, that this person is divorced, was a single parent for a while or whatnot, and helped them through the divorce. Met them a while back at an event, and while they were married, I still have a great relationship with both of them. I love both of them dearly, and we just came on as clients to help get their kid get through high school and college, and excited about this kid and their future. But after the divorce, helped them pick up the pieces, whatever they had left over. We invested the money, and they were able to like get back on their feet. They bought their own place, now they, I'm excited because they came to me with a business proposal yesterday. And this person is like 60 years old, and they texted me and they said, "Look, I'm about to be 60. Am I crazy for starting my own business at 60? And I'm like, no, you're a hustler. Like, let's get it. Give me the business plan." I reviewed the information, reviewed the numbers, and I said, "Here's what you ought to be watching out for. This is what I think your potential clients or your current clients that you're going to take with you will complain about, because I know Hawaii. I know people in Hawaii. I know what they like complain about. So therefore, you might want to make sure that you do your CYA on this part right here." And that was pretty much it. And so, if they do come on the show, they'll be able to kind of explain to you what they did in our relationship and what we've done over the years. But I credit this to 3 things: prayer, planning, and participation, right? I believe in prayer. I believe once you pray, you plan, and then you participate in that plan, and you get busy with carrying out that plan. And the problem in today's society is many people are not willing participants in their own destiny. They are along for the ride. And I say this to say this: we are in the year of a presidential election, and please do not make yourself a useful idiot for any particular party. I mean, I've had many conversations with people, and people are fighting about crazy stuff that like has nothing to do with them, like in all different kinds of things. I'm not going to get into particulars, but people share with me a lot of stuff. I'm in a position where I'm blessed, where people share with me because they feel they can trust me, and they can. And I don't tell anybody what anybody said about anything. I keep that to myself. Where this thing is getting real serious, I see the emotion, the raw emotion in people. And my thing is to help you understand that I want to put you in a position where none of that matters to your portfolio. You can have your personal opinions, but I don't think who's president of any, of the country should matter in your portfolio. Now, it will have some unintended consequences of who you vote for in one sector or the other, and we just have to be careful with that and then trade or rotate around that. But today, I'm going to be talking to you about making money in the stock market. It is one of the greatest tools ever invented to help people make money. It has also destroyed and ruined a lot of lives because it wasn't handled properly. Everything in this world is a tool. A gun is a tool. Money is a tool. Car is a tool. And in the wrong hands, any tool can become disastrous. Okay. So we're going to be talking about money in the stock market. So I got to put the disclosure out there. All investments do carry risk of loss. Past performance is no indicator of future results. Before you do any trading or investing, please do your research, your due diligence, understand your time horizons, your risk tolerance. Also, make sure you create a well balanced financial plan, and then you create your investment strategy around that financial plan. Don't go out there and make any trades on any information that I share with you guys in today's show, because this is for informational purposes only. This is education. I believe in education. I've educated myself, I've had formal education. I didn't graduate college, but I have some level of formal education. Okay, I do have certificates. I do have designations that I've had to study for and go through formal education to get those. I don't have a college degree. No, I do not. But I do have licenses and I'm trained in the work that I do. Again, anything I say is for informational purposes only. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. And one, two, three, let's get it. Now, many people are afraid of the stock market for a lot of different reasons. But today, I'm gonna talk about like the top three reasons why I think people are scared to invest. Right? It's real simple. Well, the first thing I think is they don't know how to make money in the stock market. I hear that all the time. Like which stock should I pick? Like what fund should I buy? And then the other thing I hear is people say, like, I don't have enough money, Harold. Like I'm broke. Like I don't have no money. I ain't got no money to get started. Like, how do I get money to get started? Right. And the first thing I tell people is the first place you ought to look for money is in your tax refunds and things like that when you get tax refunds back from the government. Because I tell you what, a lot of people, when they get that refund check, they living like Rockefeller, right? And then it's back to eating beans and weenies for the rest of the year. I mean, this is insane. The mentality that a lot of people have, right? And it's sad because that's the first place you start. And a lot of people are having way too much money withheld out of their paycheck. And then there's like, yeah, it's like a forced savings, right? Then when I get that money, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then just people just blow it, right? They never take what they have and then give life to more of that money. They kill it. But before you do that, talk to your tax person, and a lot of tax people are like, yeah, yeah, that's great. You're getting a refund, like you're getting a refund. Like, yeah, but are you getting ahead in life? Or are you getting refunds? Like, what do you want? You want to get ahead in life or you want refunds, right? If you're stuck in refund mode, that's the problem right there. You got to start to live within a certain dollar amount and then everything else you get, invest it for the future. Save it, do something other than spend it. But today I'm going to talk about a strategy that's avoided by many people who invest. I'm also going to talk about how to take advantage of turmoil in the marketplace. Because when storms come in the market, a lot of people get scared and they run and they hide, right? But a lot of things bubble up to the surface that people that are outside in the wind and the rain participating, they can see this stuff and they take advantage of it. And that's how the rich get richer. They don't get rich by running inside and hiding like everybody else. They participate. I'm also going to be giving you the ingredients and keys that many people are afraid of sharing. And I've put out my statement already. Don't trade on anything I tell you. I'm just going to share this information that I've found, that I've prayed about, and God has shown me, and I've kind of tested it, and it works on a large scale for many, many people. And of course, we had to prune our strategy. And of course, we're professionals. So that's all I can say about that. Now, the challenge is this. Are you going to take control of your own life? Are you going to do the proper research, build the proper strategies according to your level of risk and your future goals? Are you going to do that? Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to discuss this one thing, how to understand the stock market, because it's confusing as heck. I avoided it for many years because I could not understand it and I was afraid. And as I stated before, knowledge has the ability to stop perishing. Knowledge also has the ability to reduce fear levels, and experience just takes it over the top. Now, the stock market can be looked at as like a large fishing pond. And inside the pond, of course, they have fish. You might have some turtles. And then if you're in Florida, you definitely got some gators, right? You got to watch out. And then in the fish, That's what you're after. Everything else in the pond are after the fish. They're after your bait, and maybe even they're after you. Same thing in the stock market. There's a lot of people out there in the stock market that prey on people. There's things like market manipulation. There's all kinds of things that happens in the stock market that you got to watch out for, right? And I'm going to be sharing with you like how to look at this stuff. Now, your goal is going to be to leave the pond with fish in your body and your life intact. Same thing with the market. The goal is to exit positions over time with your initial investment and hopefully some potential profits, right? The market is global. Many countries and corporations, they participate. We're in a global economy. I don't care what anyone says. Cat's out the bag. Everything that happens everywhere affects everything. And you have to understand that. It follows trends, it ebbs, it flows, it goes in many different directions, all at the same time. It's like that's what we call volatility in the market. I mean, it's all over the place. Today, one sector is up, the other sector is down. Today, one stock is like going gangbuster and the whole market is crashing. But what's up with this one stock? Crazy. And during tough situations around the globe, volatility goes up, and then when things calm down, volatility retreats. And it's several ways to look at this. Number one, you can make money off of volatility and turmoil, right? Go out there and in the storm, look around, see what's going on. Got to protect yourself though. Or you can make money by buying, holding companies through this, depending on your time horizon. So some people do buy and hold. They buy companies in these turmoil times. They buy the stock and then they just wait for it to recover. They just wait until it recovers. I'll give you a classic example. There's this company called CrowdStrike. They just kind of turned the world upside down the other day. And they got sold off hard. They broke through all their technicals. I mean, they just went down hard. But again, the fundamentals of the company have not changed. Just somebody made a mistake and they're going to get to the bottom of it. They're going to figure it out and they're going to make sure it never happens again. But again, they might lose a little bit of market share. But you got to ask yourself this. If the other companies, and I've seen, the market run to these other companies, and it's like, wait a minute, if those companies were so great, like, why aren't they up there participating? Like, why does one company get most of the market share? Because they're the best ones at it. And they've been the best ones at it for a long time up until this one thing happened. I'm sure they're going to figure it out. But if you run over there to those other guys, as soon as this company figures things out, companies are going to look at this thing and pull the cover off and say, okay, that's why they're not over here buying these guys, because these products, they have some defects in them that, I use some of those other companies and in my firm, like in our security, I don't like them. But the provider that I go through, they only want to deal with those guys. They don't deal with CrowdStrike, right? Thankfully, the other day, I'm glad they weren't. But again, if I had a choice moving forward, I'd probably choose Crowd over the guys we use now. But we'll see. Now, the first thing I want to tackle is I want to tackle the thing about like not enough to get started. Like, Harold, ain't got no money. All right. So let's say you get that tax refund. It's $1,000. And how I'm going to present this to you is this. You was going to go spend $1,000 anyway. So to me, the $1,000 is good as it doesn't exist, right? And you can invest this and lose the whole $1,000 because at the end of the day, it was going to be gone anyway. You was going to go like either fly somewhere or go buy some sneakers or some rims or, like go out and eat and just party or whatever. You were going to waste this money anyway. So let's pretend like if you invested and you lost it, it didn't matter anyway. Now, again, I'm not saying throw the money away. I'm saying that if you invested and you lost it, it would be no different than you spending it anyway. Okay. But again, understand your risk tolerance, all of that stuff before you get started. All right. Nobody wants to just throw away $1,000, but I'm just making a reference. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start to research trends. In other words, what's hot and popping right now. All right. What's the theme right now? The theme is AI. I'm also going to start to research the most shorted stocks on the planet. Shorted stocks. Look this up on your own. When they short stocks, they borrow shares from a brokerage firm and then they sell them. All right. It's like you go to your friend's house, like, yo, like, let me borrow those sneakers you got over there. There's brand new Michael Jordans. All right. So you borrow your friend's sneakers and then you go sell them somewhere. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get into that. But what you're hoping is you're hoping the value goes down, right? You're hoping that the value goes down. So when you buy them back, you get to buy them back at a lower price, and then you get to put the profit in your pocket. All right. That's what shorting stocks means. Go look it up on the internet. So I'm going to identify 3 companies that I'm going to place one trade. All right. I'm going to identify 3 companies that I'm going to place one trade. No, do not make these trades in your portfolio without understanding your risk tolerance and time horizons. This information is for educational purposes only. I'm a professional as well as a fiduciary. As a matter of fact, do not make these trades in your portfolio, period, no matter what. It's just I'm giving you information. Go find your own trades, and then you can like flesh this out for yourself. Now, the hottest thing in the market right now is the AI theme. What's been up? What's been bought up? Nvidia, Microsoft, SMCI, Apple, Tesla, Vert. What's been crashed and rotated out of? Right? Nvidia, Microsoft, SMCI, Apple, Tesla, Vert. All because of interest rates and bond yields. That's another thing you're going to have to understand is bond yields. And so I'm just giving you what to look for, and then you can do your own research. All right. Who's the most shorted right now? You can just type in who's the most shorted stocks on the planet, do it in Google, and it'll tell you most shorted stocks. Now, are any of these companies deploying AI in order to improve their efficiency and bottom line? I don't know. It's a long list. I looked at them and I recognize a lot of these, a good bit of these companies, but they're not on my radar to trade in every single day. They're just not, because my strategy doesn't encompass this. But I'm sharing this with you. If you say like, how do I get started? Where do I get started? Right now, is there anything on the radar that could provide a trend change or like some kind of momentum to the upside? Is there anything in here that you think, okay, would, like, it's a sleeping dark horse? Nobody's really paying attention to it. It's all beaten up. Nobody cares about it anymore. What would I choose? So out of the like 30 or 40 in there, my choice would be like Solar Edge Technology. Solar is getting hammered right now. Like, it's getting hammered. It's been oversold quite a bit. And the trend towards the downside, since the market is predicting a Trump victory, and what he's saying is not helping. It's not helping the solar industry. It's like been very harsh. He's like, drill, baby, drill, right? So when he's saying these things, people are like, man, yeah, if I'm in solar, man, and Trump gets in, he's like going to kill all that stuff. No, he's not. He's saying that kind of stuff to get elected. All right. Like I said, don't make yourself a useful idiot for any particular party. Now, there is a world, I think, where all forms of energy will have to coexist. We can't just go like green energy all of a sudden. Like, you crazy to think that. This tech uses up more energy than you can ever imagine. AI is going to use more energy than you ever imagine. So we're going to need all forms of energy: fossil fuel, clean, green, nuclear is coming back on board in other countries because they realize we don't have, our infrastructure sucks right now when it comes to the electrical grid. And you guys know this because you live in some of these places where it gets too cold, energy doesn't work, or it gets too hot, the energy is not working. Like infrastructure, all of that 1 point whatever trillion infrastructure plan, that stuff hasn't even been implemented yet. And the reason why is because you have like incompetent people trying to figure stuff out and they can't figure it out. Like, how do you like not build solar charging stations? How do you not do that? And you have all these rules as to who can build it, right? DEI, all this other crazy stuff they're trying to implement. So because they can't find the right person, the right checkbox person, stuff doesn't get done. So they're sitting there waiting on like the right checkbox person to come about so they can like start this project. That's going to have to end real soon. And so, and because we can't get things done like that, it's like a fairy tale world. Now, on the other hand, if Harris wins, there's going to be more focus on solar, and it's going to be a boost to the position. So again, these are my thoughts based on like all the research and years of experience I have under different kinds of administrations. Like, I understand how to read rhetoric, right? They just hurt Nvidia the other day by talking about clamping down on chips to China, and then the guy, he's out of the race now. So Nvidia should recover here sometime soon, I hope. They got to get back through all of these technical levels and things like that. But you got to understand like what these people say and how it can affect things. So again, it's just my thought. Now, this is an example of a trade that I'm going to make based on the fact that I only have $1,000 to invest, and I'm okay losing the whole entire $1,000, right? So what am I buying? All right. I'm going to say this. I'm buying one thing right now. I'm buying one thing. And what I'm going to buy is I'm going to buy the option on the stock. And then I'm going to be putting a trailing stop on the option for 30%. So I walk away with something if the trade goes super bad. Because I don't want to just throw all the money away. But if I had $1,000 and I'm willing to put it somewhere, this is what I would do if that's all I had. This is just me doing research and understanding that. So an option, go look up options on your own. You just have the right to either buy or sell a stock at a particular price on or before a certain date. That's all it just gives you the right to either buy or sell. That's all it does. And you can commit a little money, right, to control like a lot of stock. That's all that is. So Solar Edge today is trading at $26.18 the last time I checked. Okay. And basically the 12-month target is what I'm looking at. So if I'm going to put money in something, what do the analysts think this thing is going to be worth in 12 months? Now, I'm not going to go too heavy on fundamentals and stuff like that, because if I had to make this trade based on fundamentals, I would not buy it. But I'm making this trade based on trend and probabilities and so on and so forth. All right. So that's what it's trading at. The 12-month targets, you got a high target of, a low target of $25. So it's gotten beaten up. So it's trading right around its low right now. It's been hovering down there for a bit, but the average 12-month price is $49.95. The high is $124, right? That's what they're predicting over the next 12 months. And so I bought the Solar Edge contract for January 16, 2026, $35 C call option. That gives me the right to buy 100 shares of Solar Edge on or before January 16, 2026 for $35 a share. All right. Now, if Solar Edge goes up a lot, I'm going to make a lot of money off of this option. But if it goes down, I limit my losses on this trade. So it's going to cost me $861. $861 is what it's going to cost me total. Okay. Now I could sell the option back to the market if it's profitable and then rotate my profits and do something else. And the two things you got to ask yourself before you make this trade is this: what potential gain are you shooting for? Like 100%, 200%, 10%, 30%? How do you know when to get out? If it's skyrocketing up, how do you know when to get out? And number two, what are you going to do next with the potential profits that you get out of it? And the one thing you got to understand is the trend. If the trend is positive and it's just gangbuster rolling, even if it has a 10% pullback, a 20% pullback, if you take your profits and run and then it shoots up another 500%, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But you've already set your stop loss at say 30%. Now here's the trick. You can always ladder up your stop loss. And so if you're up 100%, you can say, okay, my stop loss was at 30. Now I'm going to tighten it to 10, or I'm going to move it to 20. You go up another 100%, you can play around with your stop losses, or you can totally take that stop loss off because you think it's going to go to the moon. But you have to think about what you want to get out of there with, right? It's like fish in a bucket. How many fish you want to try to catch in that pond? And so again, you got to know where to put the money next. Now, this means that while you're waiting on your trade to materialize either to the upside or the downside, you should be following the same steps outlined to find your next 10 potential trades, right? Making money in the stock market it can be a way of life, right? I'm not saying become a day trader, but I'm saying that if you're going to invest and do things on your own, then you got to become a little bit more efficient, or a lot more efficient in your process. Okay. Create the financial plan. That's going to be based on when you want to retire, your goals, like travel goals, and what type of lifestyle you want to have, whether or not you got kids you got to put through college, and all of that good stuff. And it has to be built into that. And a lot of times you can say, I'm going to make this trade, and if it pays off like I think is going to pay off, I'm going to use that money. That money is going to be designated for me to do XYZ, redo the bathroom or take a trip. Now, honestly, here's how I think. This is just me personally. If you're trying to get to a certain level and you're investing to get there, if you say I want to take a trip, then don't take a trip until your trade, takes off and it makes money for you. You might have to wait 6 months. You might have to wait a year, but once you get used to doing this, you're going to learn and you're going to grow, and you'll be able to trade better, make better trades, and invest bigger amounts. You're going to get better and better and better at it. Right now, again, this is just how I think. Around this, you got to understand the trend of the market, the surrounding environment, pick positions based on solid research. If you're lazy, right, this is not going to work for you. Okay. Making money in the stock market is not for lazy people. All right. If you want to set it and forget it, that's fine. But if you want to make real money in the market, like real money, then there's a lot of work you got to put into it. All right. Now I had money left over. So 860, I had 1,000. What did I do with the rest? To me, I paired that with a fossil fuel position. So I paired solar with fossil fuels. Why did I do that? Well, first of all, I had money left over, and I wasn't just going to let it sit there. I got to put it to work. So why would I pair it? Well, just in case, it's like leverage, right? Hedging. If the solar thing goes backwards and I lose 30%, guess what? The fossil fuel should be going up. because again, then if that means one guy got in and the other person didn't. So I get stopped out on one, I let the other one run, and maybe I can make up that and walk away with $1,000 by January of 2026 or even before. Who knows, right? We just have to let this thing pair out. No trailing stops. It cost me $125. So I had I think I had like $4 left. Now, if what I just said to you thoroughly confused you and it seems way too complicated to implement, and you have $500,000 to invest, please schedule a call with me to learn more about how I can create a well-balanced plan and investment strategy to match it based on your risk tolerance, time horizons, and all these other crazy things. Yes, it's a lot of work and it requires diligence. You got to have patience and the ability to set your emotions and your feelings aside. Money does not care. It is one color. It is green. It doesn't see white. It doesn't see black. It just sees green because that's all it sees. Okay. And I'm not being like a money hungry person or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you. I think I think people have the ability to stop their own perishing, but they're just not willing to participate. They're not willing to pray. They're not willing to plan, and they're not willing to participate. Now, we can work together. And so hiring somebody trained in the process may just be the best thing you ever did. And of course, you got to get over the feeling of not wanting to pay fees and so on and so forth. But I'm sharing with you how you can make money in the stock market. You can also lose money in the stock market. Again, past performance is no guarantee of future results. And if you think that you want a strategy that's more comprehensive than what you have, then get on my schedule pronto. So if this has helped you tremendously, share it with other people, get on my calendar, and let's make something great happen. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is the podcastfactory.com.